What's up, everybody? I am back. I apologize that I've been on about a month hiatus. Um, it's been a very, very crazy last couple of weeks. Um, the main reason why I've been on hiatus with the vlog is there's a passing in my extended family. My brother's father-in-law passed. Um, so my condolences and prayers to my brother Mike and my sister-in-law Mary. So I'm back. Sorry, Erica. No Kitty. No Mac. Uh, and then you guys are wondering who I'm talking about. If you guys remember the first episode, the fat one is his brother Tyke that you guys remember seeing. Loaded show tonight. I'm going to probably cover almost every single sport known to man tonight. There's going to be golf. There's going to be college basketball. There will be Major League Baseball. There will be Major League Hockey. There will be Major League Basketball. There will be possibly UFC. There will be boxing. I will be also getting into um, bashing on Nancy Grace. She is now another person I would love to just chew her head off and spit her out. I will get into that around the end of the show this evening. Um, so like I said, I apologize once again. That was the main reason why I was on hiatus. There was some other minor, other reasons as well, but those weren't as bad as much as what was the main reason why I was not uh, around the last couple weeks. As again, I appreciate all the questions, comments. You can always comment on the vid. You can always Facebook me, James Trelawney. Email James R CHELONE at wmich.edu. And anybody that knows me, I'm willing to hear text. I'm willing to get text messages as well. So I'm gonna cover off college basketball. First of all, great tournament. Congrats to UConn. I think Shabazz Napier is a two-sided man. We'll wait and see how he is as a pro, but that's from from the way he was talking. He's ready. I don't know if he's a senior, but I know he is. I believe he is a senior because Kemba won it in 11, and he was a freshman at that time, so that would make him a junior or a senior now. Or was it? Yeah, I'm losing track of my years now. I think it was 2000. Yeah, it was 2011. I take that back. So Kemba's either a junior or senior. I think he's coming out as well. The way he sounded like it was a professional athlete kind of talk when how he's saying he was literally went to bed starving, and that's why the NCAA just relinquished the archaic NCAA. Just relinquished. Yes, the athletes can eat all they want, unlimited meals in the campus on the campus cafes, and that's troublesome, but at the same time, it's a good thing. But after what he said to the tournament, it was foot and mouth disease on my opinion. Don't say this is what you guys get for not having UConn in the tourney last year. Well, Shabazz, if you helped your teammates out, help your athletic friends out, you guys would have been in the tourney last year if your guys' GPA wasn't so low. And that's why UConn was out last year. I think that was kind of a foot and mouth disease with him. Overall, I think it was a great tournament. A lot of upsets. First 7 versus 8 final we have seen. I really enjoyed it. I didn't win anything, which is surprisingly, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. It was a good tournament, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, so yeah, the Masters. I had a question about Tiger from a friend of mine, Stevie. He asked me my opinion on will Tiger break Jack's record. First of all, I want to congrats Bubba before that, and I believe it was a very good Masters, even without the star power that they had. Um, I might get some flack for this, saying, Chaloni, don't you think Bubba's a star yet? Not really, not yet. He's getting there. He's getting really close. Winning a second green jacket's getting almost to stardom in golf. I can't believe I'm talking about golf, but I am somewhat knowledgeable of it. Um, I think what the doctors said was that Tiger's recovery time was 3 to 4 months. He had the surgery the end of March, which would put him on track on time for the British Open. Do I see Tiger playing in the British? I don't know. I don't think he will. I'm hoping if he's smart, Tiger takes the year off. If he's ready to go for the Ryder Cup in September, October, I think he can ramp up then and get ready for the Ryder Cup and win it for the U.S. That is almost doubled the recovery time that the doctors said. I believe the Ryder Cup is at the end of September, the early part of October, so which would put it at almost 6 months for Tiger's recovery time. I think Tiger can beat Jack's record because if you look, for example, look at Phil Mickelson, who also had the same, I believe, almost the same surgery as Tiger just did, and he's won, I believe, 4 to 6 majors after that back surgery that Phil had a while back. So that is tackling the golf side. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only will tackle the other sports that are not very much watched in the U.S. I will talk about golf during during the majors and the Ryder Cup because they are somewhat important. Any other time of the year, April, June, July, and August. If depending on who's in it and if it's Tiger, because I am a huge Tiger Woods fan. I also will say this, Stevie, if Tiger wants to, I think he should mend fences with Hank and get it with Haney, and possibly maybe alter that swing after the back surgery, because I believe Phil Mickelson did that as well. But like I said, it's a wait and see on that. As you all know, my other favorite non-national holiday happened a couple weeks ago. That's Major League Baseball. Uh, After the first 2 weeks, I'm not surprised on some of the stuff. I'm surprised about the Milwaukee Brewers and how well they're doing. I am very surprised. I'm surprised we haven't heard about any Ryan Braun PEDs or steroid rumors yet, but the season's still young, so we will wait and see. Um, I'm already seeing the up and down with my Mariners. I already know what the glaring fix is, and that's going to be fixed very shortly. Because some of those starting pitchers that are in the rotation now will be out of the rotation here in a couple of weeks. Like I said, with my possible AL Rookie of the Year, he was hurt a little bit, but only missing a month. He could still have a very good chance of winning AL Rookie of the Year. And like I said, all my baseball friends, you give me a better AL Rookie of the Year candidate, I will be more than willing to discuss it on this vlog. But I still think Taijuan Walker is going to come out guns a-blazing when he's ready to go. We'll wait and see. He got just scratched with shoulder stiffness Wednesday in his AAA start, so we'll wait and see. But the Bear, Iokuma, will be back in a couple of weeks. So I think once we get our what was supposed to be our starting rotation, I think the Mariners will be all right. To the Tigers, I know my Tigers fans are going, oh, here we go, Chaloni, what are you going to say? I'm going to say the common sense. Catcher, Alex Avila has been nowhere. What's up with the enforcer? I call him the enforcer because Arn Anderson, Double A. I think it's a good nickname. But he hasn't been the enforcer. He needs to raise that batting average up and start getting on base because I think the Tigers might look at shopping for a catcher near the deadline if he can't step up his game. I think the glaring need is at shortstop. I think that might just be a defensive position only this year. I'm hoping there's going to be some offense, but I don't see it with Romine or Alex Gonzalez. I still think that Fister trade might be in the winning to Mike Rizzo of the general manager of the Nationals. We'll know here in about a couple weeks when Doug Fister has his first start the weekend of Mother's Day. As well, I think that bullpen is just god awfully shaky. But the good news is, I think that it can be fixed internally. I think you give Coke his walking papers. I think you send Albuquerque back down. Kroll's been the only answer in that bullpen right now. Joe Nathan, I'm not worried about because it's Joe Nathan. Joe Nathan, yes, he's had his up and downs, but still, it's Joe Nathan. He will get back to Mr. Consistency. The Tigers will be fine at that back end of the bullpen. I think right now they're going to stick around. They're going to stay with Java and see if Java can become the old school New York Yankee Java champion. We'll wait and see if that happens. But I think he's on the fence too. I think you bring up Crosby and put him as a la Smiley role for how Drew Smiley was the last couple of years. That will kind of fix that a little bit. And I think you bring up Robbie Ray. Like I said, it's not a major problem for the Tigers, but I think catcher and shortstop might be looked at more at the deadline because I think you could fix the bullpen internally, which is a great thing because it's really tough to fix a bullpen internally in the major leagues, and people will agree with me on that. So overall, it's been a good season. I'm a little disappointed with my Mariners with how well we're supposed to be, but like I said, with two of our big guns starting pitchers are out, it is what it is. The Tigers, we'll wait and see. I'm very interested on how Osmus is. I'm very interested right now on how Osmus is. I'm going to be more interested when it gets closer to July, August time when we start getting into more divisional games and it gets more interesting with that aspect. And now the key word is going to be best of 3. And you're going, oh God, what is Cholo talking about now? Ladies and gentlemen, the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs are upon us. The NHL playoffs have already started. I know I'm a little late. I'm not a big hockey guy, as you guys know. I cannot stand Gary Bettman. I'm still clueless on how the playoff seedings are. I think it's ridiculous. I'll get to the Gary Bettman bashing after I'm done with the NBA playoffs here in a second. I'm going to start with the NBA and then I'll go to the NHL. First round of the NBA, I think I'm not going to watch a damn matchup in the Eastern Conference because I think it's just going to be just cakewalk City Central. I think Toronto's a year away, and I think Washington's a year away from being relevant. And I say relevant. They got lucky this year, and I don't know. I don't want to say. I will say lucky because the East is a joke. The East is a joke, and we already know it's gonna be either Miami. It's gonna be either Miami or Indiana coming out of the East. Let's get real. Everyone knows that. It's either gonna be Miami or Indiana. And if Indiana can get their head straight and get their head out of their asses, they got a shot of beating Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals. Will we see it? I don't know. The better sign will be when the Eastern Conference semis comes. When I think the only 2 dark horse teams in the East may be Chicago and Brooklyn. We'll wait and see how that all pans out. But as of right now, I don't see it. I only see it as Miami and Indiana. So It's going to be status quo in the NBA, in my opinion. I really do. I can probably break it all down here right now in a quick second once I get the playoff matchups. Atlanta, Indiana, give me the Pacers in 5. Miami, Charlotte, give me Miami in the Brooms. Brooklyn, Toronto, give me Brooklyn in 5. Chicago and Washington might be interesting. I see Chicago in 6 because I think Washington might get one in Chicago and get a generous home win in Washington, leading to give me leading to Indiana playing Chicago, which I think might be the best series in the NBA in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. But next to Miami, Indiana, give me Indiana over Chicago in 7 in the Eastern Conference semis. And then Miami will play Toronto, Brooklyn. I think Miami will beat Brooklyn in 7. Brooklyn has given Miami fits all year, but I think Miami with LeBron will end it in game 7. I will save my Eastern Conference Finals prediction later on. If that comes to fruition, I want to see how Indiana plays first in the first 2 rounds before what I thought was going to happen in the Eastern Conference from the start. We'll wait and see on that. San Antonio playing Dallas. Give me the Spurs in 5. I think Dallas will get a win at home. That's about it. Oklahoma City, Memphis. I think this is going to be a very interesting series, but I still see Oklahoma City winning this in 6. The Clippers, Golden State, I think will be the best first-round series in the NBA playoffs. I think that could be a game 7 written all over it. Give me the Clips in 7 with the home court advantage. Houston, Portland. This is where I don't know. This is where you can flip a coin. Everyone's going, oh, Houston's going to be a dark horse. Houston's going to be a dark horse. Houston's going to be a dark horse. What NBA fans don't realize, the Rose Garden is probably arguably the toughest place to play in during the playoffs. That crowd gets nuts. Portland is the only professional sports city with a legitimate professional sport franchise. And if anybody who is a soccer fan thinks that it is a professional sport, come talk to me when MLS averages 25 million a year. Then I'll start considering it a major league sport. I'm gonna say Houston in 7, but if Portland can escape splitting in Houston 1-1s, get ready. That might become a best of 7 series, because if Portland can go 3-1 going back into Houston, Portland got a shot winning it in 6. But I'll take Houston in 7. Dwight Howard's hungry. He's in the city he wants to play in. We'll see if James Harden can be the closer. We'll see if that happens. I don't know yet, but we'll wait and see. Which will leave San Antonio and Houston in the second round. Give me San Antonio in 6. You can't go against Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. If you do, I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with you. Too much finals experience, too much playoff experience, and I'm arguably one of the greatest coaches in all time, Greg Popovich. I'm willing to debate that. I believe he's a top 5. He's in my top 5 greatest NBA coaches of all time. And then Oklahoma City playing in the LA Clippers will be probably, in my opinion, the best semifinal in the NBA playoffs. This is going to be a knockdown, drag 'em out, beat down fest, and then give me Oklahoma City in 7. I think in the Western Conference, you're going to see at least 2 or 3 Game 7s and on that side. I really do. The NHL, I don't really care about. Everyone knows, oh, what about the Wings? What about the Wings? The Wings need to do two things. One, split in Boston. Actually, three things. I take that back. Two, win games 3 and 4 in Detroit. 3, make it a best of 3, win game 6, beat the Bruins in 6. Do I see it happening? I don't know. It's just going to be really hard. The Bruins have a shitload of Stanley Cup playoff experience and have very, very well good experience with game 6s and game 7s. I like the Bruins. I'm sorry, Wings fans. With too many injuries, with Datsuk and Holmstrom just coming back, I don't know if they can ramp it up and be ready to go. All my Wings fans can tell me I told you so if they beat the Bruins in the first round. I don't see it. I'm sorry, Wings fans. It's enough. You got in the playoffs. Be happy. It's been a crazy year. Get ready for next year. Um, I I don't know. I'm going to say Boston and Anaheim. I really don't really cover NHL anymore. I hate Gary Bettman with a passion. I think he is the one of most. I think he's the stupidest out of all 4 professional commissioners. I think they need to get a retired hockey guy to be the commissioner, like a Brett Hull or Mark Messier or Mike Modano to commission the NHL. I think if they get a former retired guy that knows what the hell hockey fans want, I think it'll be a whole lot better for the sport. They got the weakest television contract out of all 4. Um, Everybody knows the NBC announcers are a joke. Give me Bill Thorne and John Butchergrass. And hell, give me a little Barry Melrose, and I'll take that any day of the week and maybe twice on Sunday. I love Bill Thorne and ESPN. You guys know that. I wish ESPN could bring back NHL hockey, but I don't think that's ever gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen in my lifetime. I'll be floored if it does. Uh, yeah, like I said, give me Boston. I'm taking the Bruins and the Ducks. What the hell? Give me the Bruins and the Ducks in the Stanley Cup. I think the Bruins will host. I think the Bruins will host the Stanley Cup trophy. I know it's the top 2 teams in the NHL, but like I said, if I was the NHL commissioner, I'd be doing 2 things: moving Dallas to Seattle, moving Dallas to Portland, moving Phoenix to Seattle, moving Nashville to possibly Hamilton, Ontario, and moving Florida to either Kansas City or Milwaukee, and then creating a better product and bringing back the 1 through 8 seeds, because I have no fucking clue how the hell they're doing this playoff wise. Another thing they should do, and I don't think they ever will, because Bettman's clueless as a commissioner, is have I don't mind the conferences, but they need to go 1 through 8 again, in my opinion. They have the top 2 teams from each conference, and then have 4 wild card slots, and then still have it 1 through 8. But the top 2 teams are safe with the home ice advantage, and then make 3 for 8 best overall records. What's the point of having points with this system? I don't know. Somebody answer me that question. I'm challenging hockey fans on that. With this system, I think it's cluelessly flawed. I think they need to bring back the number 1 through 8 system, or the system I just mentioned, because the NBA is actually thinking about actually doing that system here in a minute, which I do like, because it's based on wins. And like I said, it's with Major League Baseball too. I don't like the All-Star game. Why the hell are you playing a 162 game reason if you're making the All-Star game a home field advantage? It should be an exhibition like every single fucking other All-Star game is. Pardon my language. That's all on the NBA and NHL playoffs. I had a boxing question on Jeloni. Why don't you talk about boxing? Well, congrats, Manny Pacquiao beat Timothy badly. You got your belt back. Mayweather's fighting a guy, I don't remember his last name, the Cinco de Mayo weekend, Mother's Day weekend. I think it's May 6th. I really don't care. Boxing's dead to me. Boxing's been dead to me for almost a decade. The only fight I wanted was 4 or 5 years ago, and Mayweather versus Pacquiao. I don't think we'll ever see it, so I really don't care about boxing. It's dead to me. Um, it's been dead since the popularity of UFC, in my opinion. And speaking of UFC, there's a decent card on UFC on Fox tomorrow night with Travis Brown versus Fabricio Verdum. I see Brown winning this fight and facing Cain Velasquez when he is healthy and ready to go. Brown has been a man on a mission, and I think he's ready to go. Liz Carmouche versus Misha Tate. Really don't care because I think whoever wins this fight is going to be waiting for a while to face Ronda Rousey again. I really do, because Rousey is facing, I can't remember who, but it isn't Kat Sugano. I know that for a fact. She will be the second person to face Kat. I think it was Jessica Evans, but I'm not 100% sure, and I'm going to look that now. Um, but it and next week and next weekend's UFC, I really don't care about. I can't stand John Jones. Um, I'm hoping Glover knocks him out. That card is almost a joke to me. The only fight I'm willing to see on that card is uh, Anthony Davis and the return of Anthony Rumble Johnson. I want to see how Anthony Johnson looks at the 205. He should have been there from the jump, and he wouldn't have been effed by the UFC a couple of years ago. But that's what he gets for trying to be in the weight division that he knew he couldn't make. Um, I take that back. Ronda Rousey is going to be facing Alexis Davis, and who really cares on that? Because we already know Rousey's either going to win by a TKO or armbar. Go figures. And I think Ronda's gonna wait for an exhibition fight with Gina Serrano. We'll wait and see if that happens, but I don't know. Um, but like I said, I really don't care about next weekend's card. It's not that much oomph on it, like the 4th of July pay-per-view card is going to be, and we'll wait and see if the Memorial Day card is going to happen with that as well. Uh, the last thing I'm now going to cover is Nancy Grace. And before I get going to that, I want to cover on how this led to this. Before that as well, it's just for some odd reason, every year that ends in 4 or 9, there's always a historical sport or music death in the world. As you all know, this is the 20-year anniversary of Kurt Cobain dying, committing suicide. And I don't need to go into further explanation about that. If you don't know who Kurt Cobain is, then I feel sorry for you. Also, also 15 years ago, this is also the 15-year anniversary of Owen Hart dying, uh, which leads to Nancy Grace. And as well, a couple other big passings. Ralph Wilson, owner of the Buffalo Bills, the last AFL owner. May he rest in peace. Um, and as well, as you guys know, I'm a huge wrestling fan. One I been a wrestling fan ever since I was a little kid. And one of the first wrestlers I remember watching was the Ultimate Warrior. I've always been a big fan of the Ultimate Warrior. I just finished watching his Ultimate Collection, which I'm kind of sad that we won't see another one. The Ultimate Warrior was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame, and he was on Monday Night Raw the night after WrestleMania, and he died of a heart attack. It was a heart disease, which was a heart attack the next day. Diamond Dallas Page, who inducted Jake the Snake, who's helped Jake the Snake beat his alcohol addiction and drug addiction. And he also helped Scott Hall, who got, aka Razor Ramon, who got inducted in the Hall of Fame. He also helped him beat his alcohol addiction. And he was on Nancy Grace the night of the Ultimate Warrior dying. And Nancy Grace, to me, needs to be either taken off the air for not doing her homework as a stupid reporter. She probably slept her way to get her show on CNN version 2.0. Yes, headline news to me, ladies and gentlemen, is CNN version 2.0 now. Cable is no longer what it was when we were in high school, when I was in high school. And that was 12 years ago. Headline news to me 12 years ago was you can watch the headline news in 5 minutes and you got all your news for the day. ESPN showed highlights when I was in high school. MTV was still somewhat MTV with TRL, but it's no longer that either. The thing that makes me angry about Nancy Grace is she does not do her homework. And how I say this is because all my wrestling fans that watch this or listen to this know how Owen Hart passed. And Nancy Grace goes, "Oh, Owen Hart and Ultimate Warrior died of steroids." No, Nancy Grace, you ignorant, slumping, stupid broad. Owen Hart died from ziplining to the ring. His zip line broke, fell over 30 feet, landed on his neck, died on impact in the ring, you dumb, ignorant broad. That's what makes me so angry. It's like, if you are a professional journalist, do your damn homework. And don't say stupid stuff that's gonna bite you in the ass. Because now you have one of the most underrated, one of the most outspoken when need to be spoken communities / fans coming out and doing this. And that's the wrestling fan community. And every single thing I've read about Nancy Grace, I'm surprised she has not gotten fired or has not gotten a shitload of death threats or has not even been killed. Because wow. That's all I gotta say is wow. Ignorance in this country, folks, is killing it. It's killing it. I apologize, but I had to let that out. Ignorance is killing this country. I cannot. It's one of my huge pet peeves, and I just laugh at the stupid shit I see on the news. It's just hilarious. Ignorance is killing this country, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the president himself. That's all I'm going to say about that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have been almost ranting, talking, and raving for almost 35 minutes. I appreciate all your thoughts and concerns. I know you guys were probably wondering, where has he been? I missed the vlog. I know I'm going to get some comments and saying, we understand Chaloni, our thoughts and prayers, and I appreciate that. As well, if you guys got any more comments, questions, or concerns, email me, james.r.shalom@wmich.edu. Text me, call me. People who know me or who listen to this or watch this. And Facebook me, James Shalom. Not hard to find. Seahawk helmet, Sherman jersey. I need to change it. I'll try to do it soon, but things might get crazy again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody have a good weekend. And I will try to be back next week. But with how it is news-wise, it's going to be, if it's still slow, I might do a special movie. What my movies I'm looking out for next week. Maybe some minor sports news as well. I will be doing a very big, maybe long NFL draft prediction episode here in about I say 2 weeks. I think the NFL draft is the first. It is the 8th. So I will be probably 2 weeks from now. I will be doing the a la Chaloni crystal ball with the NFL draft with each team in the first round. So get ready. That might be the only thing I do for that week. I don't know yet. We'll wait and see. But I think that might be the only thing I do. And so just get ready for that. I appreciate you guys doing what you're doing with this. I know some people want to get my name out there, and it's cool if you want to do that. I just doing this because this is a passion of mine, man. I finally got some motivation a couple months ago, and I appreciate all the negative and positive feedback. So I appreciate it, guys and gals who watch this. So everyone have a good weekend, be safe, and actually have a good Easter. I forgot Easter Sunday, so everyone have a good Easter as well. All right, guys, later.